Welcome back to I Will Break Your Game with the Talos Principle. Today we get to play with hexahedrons for the first time, the bread and butter of breaking Talos puzzles. We're going to get started here by beginning the star solution for this puzzle, which requires coming around this corner and pulling the lever, which lowers the secret wall. Behind there you can see the star. Now this level has two hexahedrons, cubes, boxes, whatever you want to call them, and we're going to take them through behind the wall we've just opened. Cubes are really cool because they let you get to all sorts of weird and wonderful places, both in and out of the map. It won't be long before you see just how handy they are. I mentioned last episode that I was going to show you an impossible looking jump. And we're going to jump on top of a stack of two boxes, which anyone who's played Talos will know shouldn't really be possible. If I switch to third person here, you can see that they seem way too high to jump on top of. However, there's a bit of raised rubble just by the boxes that is going to come in handy. However, if you just run off the raised rubble and try and jump on the boxes, it won't work. Instead, what you need to do is stand on the highest bit of rubble you can manage, and then look at the boxes and wait until you get the jump prompt. And then you can use that to jump on top of the boxes. And then we can get on the wall, and from here, we can actually break every single puzzle in A5. Every time you complete a puzzle in A5, the time of day switches from night to day. So every time I complete a puzzle and cut to me coming back to here, you'll notice changes in the light. That's just because of the constant changing of night and day on this level. So what we're going to do is run along this wall, but we're going to take a cube with us. If you look down, it's actually possible to reach the cube from which you jumped onto this wall. And if we take a cube with us, it means that we can make a particularly high jump later on that you wouldn't be able to make without it. You can actually see that the star is achievable here, and there are two stars on this level, both of which you can get very easily just by following this wall. Be careful when you're walking along here. I really try and press myself up against the wall just to make sure I don't get nudged off by some of the sticky out parts. Here you just want to clear that wall, you want to jump straight over onto the rocks, and then you can get up onto this wall here. And there are three puzzles, all very close to this particular spot. So the first one we're going to do, we want to get to the highest point we can on this arch here, and then jump across to the stones on the other side. And this is where both our first sigil is, and also where another star is. The jump here is the one I mentioned, it's slightly too high to do, so I'm going to put the box down, just to make sure I'm going to put it on the slightly higher part of that wall. And then again we can use the jump prompts just to get ourselves up here. And then you can see the star there, and a sigil. And we're back to nighttime, or perhaps just a very ominous storm. We're going to take a box with us again, and we're going to go in the same direction. Again, be careful you don't get pushed off this wall as you're walking along. Also, the jump that you have to make here, go along onto this tiled roof like I do, and then jump on. If you just jump straight from one wall to the other, it has a tendency to nudge you off, and then you'll have to start again. This time around, we're headed in the same direction again, but this time we don't need a box. I'd be curious as to how many of these puzzles were actually intended to be broken. I mentioned earlier that I'm pretty sure at least some of these puzzles had exploits intentionally left in, but I wonder how many of these puzzles the developers knew were breakable. The final puzzle is all the way on the other side of this level, so we're going to be covering quite a distance on the walls. We're heading in a different direction this time, and we're going to take a box with us. There are quite a few gaps in the walls in this direction. One's just here, and then there are more later on, so be careful you don't fall down any of these, because later on some of them actually won't allow you to get back out. you're going to put your box down on the wall here, and you want to try and get it as central as you possibly can. So look at the wireframe of where it's telling you the box is going to go, and try and get it pretty central. You want it directly in front of the wall, just opposite there. And then you're going to jump on the box, and you're going to jump over to the wall. Try not to get too far onto the wall, because you're very nearly out of bounds when you make this jump. You can hear Elohim gets pretty loud when you're on here. And then you're going to try and jump over to the left without going out of bounds, and the sigil's just there. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to catch me in episode 5 when we do some extreme rock climbing. The breaks in the next episode are some of my favourite in Talos, so look forward to it.